Well, with only 5 days left until the election, we now continue our Raise the Rural Vote segment, bringing greater awareness to the issues facing rural Americans. While we have Washington's ear, well, today's viewer comment comes from LaJean Kaiser from Morley, Michigan.
My concern is the internet in rural areas. Children facing this COVID crisis, families working from home, internet in the rural area really needs to be addressed. Hopefully somebody can make that happen.
Well, Brent Legg with Connected Nation joins us now with an industry perspective on this particular issue. Brent, thank you so much for being with us. Speak to the need for rural broadband access across America.
Well, Tammy, it's great to be with you. There are still 18 million unserved households that meet the minimum standard that the FCC has set for broadband access, which is 25 megabits of broadband downstream. And 77% of rural areas have 25/3 access to broadband, but that means a significant number of rural areas do not have access, and that's the problem that we at Connected Nation are trying to solve. Without good broadband, kids can't learn from home. Families can't go see their doctor. People in this COVID-19 situation can't work from home. Broadband is just as important to rural areas, we feel, as adequate roads and bridges. It really is the digital highway to homes across rural America. And we are starting to see a significant amount of interest among policymakers to solve that challenge.
And of course, you mentioned some of those critical needs because of the pandemic, whether it be education, work from home, telehealth. What a big deal for those who live in rural America and can't get to a hospital or a doctor when they need to. So what are some of the efforts that are underway to help bridge that digital divide in rural America?
Well, there's a lot going on at Washington and at the state level across the country right now. The FCC implemented its Rural Digital Opportunity Fund reverse auction that's focused on delivering broadband service, $16.4 billion in Federal Universal Service Fund dollars to rural unserved areas. That is happening this month. There has been a lot of interest in Congress, particularly if an economic stimulus deal can come together between the House and the Senate. There's a lot of talk that broadband funding would be included in that legislation. Congress passed what was called the Broadband Data Act back in March, which will allow the FCC to finally collect really accurate and granular data on where broadband coverage gaps exist. And then nearly $1 billion has been appropriated to USDA to their program called Reconnect. And Reconnect allows applicants to apply for funding to build out broadband infrastructure. And then we've seen some other very exciting developments from the technology space. Companies like SpaceX have launched their Starlink program to deliver low Earth orbiting satellite service. We've seen a number of satellite launches, and they're nearing commercial viability of that network. So that will certainly help improve access in rural areas too. So we're really excited about all that we're seeing happening right now to hopefully close that rural broadband gap.
Hopefully so. We know it's not an overnight fix, but definitely efforts are being made. That's Connected Nation Government Affairs Executive Vice President Brent Legg. We appreciate your time on this Thursday.